Happy Thursday and welcome to our video podcast. My name is Pastor Kevin Robertson, and we're titling the podcast Inside the Grace Track. And today I have the privilege, and I just love this couple, Jesse and Kavita. Welcome to our podcast. And then you're supposed to say, yes, we're welcome.
We're excited to be here, I'm sure.
We're being forced to be here.
I know, we have nothing to do but sit there and talk on Zoom. So tell me how you guys found the church first.
So I had been going there a little bit before Kavita and I started dating.
Okay.
So I came in there and got a little bit connected. There was softball happening, and I played on the softball team some and was really into that. And then, they had this fill-in pastor for a long time, and I'm still waiting.
Waiting for the real pastor to come?
Still waiting. Then, I don't know.
Did you feel sorry for that fill-in pastor?
No, I mean, I felt connected and a genuine vibe there. And then when we started dating, I forced Kavita to come along, and she immediately took to it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure what to feel about it because I didn't grow up in the church. I grew up with a different religion, and I was open to going and listening. And I think it took maybe a couple of chances to be there, and I kind of started falling in love with the honesty and no judgment, and just how diverse the church is and how open-minded everybody is. And we just started coming, and this became part of our family. So
I never thought, for some reason it didn't cross my mind that you were part of another religion.
mm-hmm.
And so that's gotta be tough, or because I'm sure your family's going, okay, Kavita, you're going to the dark side here. Did you get any pressure from family?
They already knew I went to the dark side when I married a white boy.
So not only you married a white boy, you went to the dark side and started attending a Christian church.
My mom's been very, very open-minded. I've been to church before with her. Her friends were Catholic. I've been to church in India with her before. I actually went to Sunday school a few times. That's when I stopped going. But yeah, no, my mom's pretty open-minded. She really believes there's one God, and she was never the one to tell us to not go to a certain church or temple or whatever. So that's how we were kind of raised by her. So
okay. Yeah. And one thing I noticed about you, Kavita, you and I joke around a lot, and we make fun of a lot. And so therefore, to me, it's almost like your little sister. And then when I'm like shocked, I'm like, you're a very responsible person at work. You have a real job that you have people that work under you. So explain what you do.
I flip cell phone signs at the side of the road. Going to the right
and Jesse works at Chuck E. Cheese. He's actually the bear.
He's a mouse.
Okay, jokes aside.
And by doing that, you can afford this house.
I actually manage about 250 people. We're designing the next generation of military aircraft. So I work for Northrop Grumman. And
wow. And you manage 250 people.
About, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that?
2 years for this role, but I've been at this job since 2010.
Okay. So, oh, wow, 10 years. And so, and Jesse, you're in a position now. Because you were unemployed for a while.
Yeah, I have been. I was unemployed, like, without anything for about 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
But then I was back, doing some part-time stuff. So right now I've been working for a virtual reality company that is all about healthcare. So it's all about helping with pain relief and anxiety, both either in the acute, immediate pain space and in the chronic pain space. So it's a alternative to opioids. So Applied VR, the name of the company I'm working for. So it's really kind of nice to be in a mission-based organization. For a lot of years, I worked for a gas station television company, which is like, we're selling ads at a gas station. How motivated can you be? So it's been nice to be in a different kind of role that has a positive spin to it.
Well, that's great. And then, okay, so I want to go back. You've been married how long?
Oh.
8 years this May.
Okay, sounds good.
Really, Jesse?
Yes.
See, that's why Jennifer goes, it was my 20th anniversary yesterday, and it's real easy. You just go 2020, 20 years.
Oh, there you go.
It doesn't. So
2012.
2012, which I had the privilege of doing a wedding.
Yeah.
Which was outside at the beach, somewhere in Ventura, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And it was the perfect wedding. I seldom do perfect weddings. So I actually did an outstanding job, didn't I?
Yeah, it was great.
It was great.
Like, I think you said, do you take Jessica?
I did. I really screwed up.
Great moment.
And the thing is, what's sad about this is I didn't change my paper, and your name is Jesse, and then it said Jessica, and I go, I don't need to change it. I can just say Jesse. And so I said it soft. I went, do you take Jessica? And then I go, no. And before I corrected it, you made this big Jessica. You call me Jessica, like my body temperature just went to 104. And then
perfect. Well, this way we can pick on you for the rest of our lives.
Then my understanding was everyone was calling you Jessica after the wedding, which is horrible. But I had the privilege of dedicating your firstborn, and so it was good. So I also want to ask you about a few years ago, Kavita, you had some type of injury, and we prayed and prayed and prayed, and nothing's happened. I mean, some things have happened. Tell us about that.
So I think it'll be 4 years in June. It's been that long.
That long, jeez.
I've pretty much tried everything in the book and outside the book. All sorts of injections and therapies, and finally a year and a half ago I decided to do a small surgery just to see if it makes a difference, and it actually went bad. I came out of the surgery with more damage than I went in with, so I've been recovering from that. Finally things are starting to stabilize, but I think at this point my best hope is how to live with it, so I can still live my life rather than it'll completely go away.
Right, and this is the back problem, back pain.
Yeah.
So if you notice, Kavita, during service, every once in a while she'll stand up and lean against the wall. Yeah. Not because she's really enjoying the service. And she's going hallelujah and trying to keep awake. But you're actually in extreme pain.
Sitting is painful, so
yeah.
If I start to walk around Jesse here in a few minutes, you'll know why.
No, and I remember a few years ago, I would come and meet you, and we would go for a walk around your house. And I remember you got to the point of just being very discouraged. And so maybe share that, because other people are going through elements in their lives, and they think they're the only one. I mean, I don't know about you. If you look at somebody and see them running and you just go, man, I wish I could do that. For me, with a tremor, when I see someone holding a cup of coffee, I'm going, man, I wish I could do that, Were you in the same?
I think I've been up and down. I'm usually a really positive person. I think I get that from my mom.
Okay.
There have been moments where I'm completely discouraged, that there's no way I'm going to get better, no way this pain's going to leave me.
Right.
So I would say it's probably 70-30, how it's been last 4 years.
Okay.
But I think I was most discouraged after the surgery, how I came out of surgery with nerve damage, and I never had crazy leg pain before that, and coming out of surgery where I was trying to improve one problem, came in with another one. I think that was really hard for me to swallow.
Right.
I mean, it's hard too, because we've been for 4 years having this hope that I'll get better, and then we'll try and have a second child, because the week my back went crazy is the same week I had a miscarriage, and I think you and I talked about that before. And that's like been our, hey, it's someday I'll get better, and we'll try again. But it's
miscarriage. I don't, unless you go through miscarriage, you don't understand the depth of it.
Yeah.
Because I remember praying for people that have gone through miscarriage, but when Jennifer went through miscarriage, it was like, I mean, I remember that girl would be 13 last January. I mean, you remember those kind of things.
Yeah.
If we had the baby. How does that, it's just, I don't know, with Jesse, how, it must be difficult watching your wife going through this. And I mean, how are you dealing with it? How do you get discouraged or encouraged?
Well, I'm not encouraged. No, it's very discouraged. It's frustrating on a lot of levels. I mean, there's the frustration for the pain that she's dealing with every day, just like watching as what seems like she's doing fine. She's just sitting there and all of a sudden she's in a ton of pain, and it's like, what's going on? And like, she hasn't done anything. And man, we've sought so many different types of doctors. I'm like a fixer, right? I want to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Immediately, how do we fix this? We're going to go through whatever it takes. Let's find in path, what's the solution? And we've taken every path we think we can take, and we just keep hitting dead end after dead end. And it's really, I mean, it's discouraging for sure. We go through these moments where like, wait, we did everything that all the doctors were telling us to do. You should be doing better.
Right.
And we're not. And and like she talked about there with us wanting to have another child, it's been discouraging, for me. That's the selfish reason for me that it's discouraging, because, we wanted that.
He said selfish, not me.
I don't think it's selfish to want a child. I don't understand how that would be. I'm so self-centered. I think, for me, later on in years, you go, thank goodness I don't have a child, because I can imagine dealing with a 13-year-old now. That's selfish, So the other question I want to ask you guys, if somebody else is going through this in their marriage, like everyone at one point struggles with something like this within their marriage, what advice would you give? I mean, what are the things not to do? What are the things to do?
I think from my perspective, it was important that he understood where I was coming from, where my frustrations were, what things I was trying and where I was struggling, because I don't want him to think I'm just laying around when I'm not feeling well. It's important for me to communicate, hey, my leg is really numb today, I'm gonna go lay down, rather than just laying down. So he's not just stuck doing the crazy 6-year-old we got at home, right? So it's just important for us to communicate, and you can't just assume the other person understands that your pain can come back anytime. Right. So that's been the key for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, from the caretaker side of it, or the person who's not in pain, it's really about trying to stay focused on empathy, trying to understand and be connected to, she's in pain. Like, yes, more is falling on you right now. You need to deal with this, or we can't do this. We planned on doing a trip or whatever. I'm like, okay, we're not going to be able to do that. And that naturally has some frustration to it. So it's being able to accept that that's a valid feeling. Frustration that things have changed are valid, but it's a shared pain. So we've shared that.
You can hear our 6-year-old in the back. So,
and like I said, there's no editing at all. No editing. So, and also too, I want to ask you guys about your love for dancing. Explain where that came from. Because when I first met you guys, you lived in Marina Del Rey on this nice, gorgeous apartment overlooking the harbor, right? Yeah. And so I go in there, and I invited. You're the only ones that I know of that had a dance floor in your second-story apartment. Third story apartment. You had to be the worst nightmares for neighbors.
We had some complaints.
I remember looking at this going, this couple's crazy. And I think you were just you still in your 30s or something. And I thought, oh my goodness. So tell me what his love for dancing. And what's interesting, then I walked into your front room and it was this total man cave with TVs and everything and games. And I'm going, this is where I love Jesse, because maturity is not an option with him.
So I grew up dancing. I did classical Indian dancing. My mom taught me, and I did hip hop as a teenager. So I grew up dancing, and I think Jesse has seen his parents dance throughout his life too. Mm-hmm. But there was one time when we were both going through our divorces, and you were both like alone and whatever, and that's when I saw a class for 2 free classes, and if you don't like it, you don't have to sign up for it. Right. So I tried to talk him into it. I'm like, dude, it's only 2 classes, no charge. You don't like it, you don't have to go. Come with me. And we were not dating at the time.
Okay, this is correct, Jesse. Okay, deep down, you didn't want to go to. You didn't want to go to this, did you?
No, I did actually. So you don't put that feeling on me. Like you said, that my parents are always dancers. We grew up like there was a coffee table in our family room that was structurally sound enough that it was a dancing table. You would jump up on the table and dance. And so
really?
Yeah, like I come from a family where they've loved dancing as I was a child, so I was definitely open to it. So.
Yeah. So we went for those 2 free classes, and the teacher was Lou's. What's Lou's background? He's one of the big dance academies.
Good answer, Jesse.
He was a great instructor, and we had so much fun dancing and learning, and we ended up signing up. And that's kind of how we fell in love. We danced, and it's flirty or touching. I don't know. It just worked.
It just worked. Okay, not being a dancer myself, the last time I danced was 20 years ago yesterday. Was at my own wedding. But what is your favorite dance together?
I don't know. I think there's a few. Like we do a lot of different Latin beats, right? Yeah. Whether it's merengue or salsa or rumba, cha-cha.
I really do like traveling in a waltz with you around a huge dance floor. Jess has this crazy habit of making you twirl, and making you lose your mind. But it's so fun because after the end of the big circle, you're like completely out of breath and so fun. Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of them. I don't think there's one particular dance.
But can you dance with your back problems the way it is now, or do you have to be very careful?
I have to be careful. I definitely don't do certain dance moves. I don't do tango for multiple reasons. But yeah, there's certain dances I don't do. I take a lot more breaks in between dances and songs than I used to, for sure. But it's just one of those things that, if we're feeling disconnected from each other, we'll just dance, and it's like instant connection.
Yeah. So, that's fascinating to me, because you told me that before. That's the way you guys emotionally connect.
Yeah.
Can you explain that, or it's just you can't explain it? It's just a connection.
I mean, I think there's a lot to it. There's a closeness. There's a teamwork. You're doing something together where you have to coordinate.
Right.
There's a exercise makes you feel better kind of thing. There's a music that it's usually not down, sad, dreary songs, so it's uplifting, and you're just connected, and you talk and you laugh as one of you makes a mistake or whatever, and or you come up with some new move and you're like, wow, that was pretty cool. What did we just do? So it just has an opportunity for us to connect.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last subject I want to talk about, and then a closing statement, is Jesse, you took Grace Strike, correct?
I did.
And Kavita signed up for it, right?
I
didn't sign up for this round. But I'll let him talk, then I'll tell you why I never signed up.
Okay, well, I'm going to make him sell it, and then all of a sudden they go, oh yeah, and then Kavita will say, it was stupid, you know. Okay, tell us about your experience in Grace Track.
Well,
You took it with me on my class, or
yeah.
it was a video one. Okay.
Yeah, it was a long time ago now, maybe a year and a half ago or something.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think what I take now most out of it, I mean, it's been long enough that the individual lessons about Jonah or about whatever, you know, I've forgotten, my memory isn't that good.
Okay.
I mean, there's definitely a mindset that you come out of there, which is that I'm given grace and let me see the world through that eyes, that
Right.
we're all looking at that as we're all flawed, and this no judgment mantra that is our church's our theme. And then there's also these connections with people that like you've seen in church for all these years, but now you went, you know their backstory and you know them. This handful of people you really have a much stronger and real connection with. It was really, you know, it really made me feel connected in a deeper way to the church, and it gave me a different perspective on life, which is good.
Okay. You know, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Kavita.
Destroy it. All right, so,
Destroy this. Thank you, Jesse.
I struggled with everybody raving about Grace Trek. Everybody just talked about how amazing it was, how it changed their lives, how they were able to absorb it. And at the time, I was working 14-hour days, and it was insane at work. And I just didn't think I had the mindset to take that and absorb it all and get the value out of it. And it almost was too overwhelming. If I went in there and I didn't get as much out of it, I would be disappointed. I would disappoint you, and you know, all that stuff. So it was a little bit
Oh,
overwhelming.
that's good. That's deep. That's deep. It's almost like when you had the surgery and then it backfired. So you go, I'm not going to raise my expectations because I may not get anything out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be in the right mindset to be able to absorb the word, right? So I just didn't think I was there, and I was like, well, Jesse got a lot out of it. It's kind of a competition here. I need to get out of that. So, just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
No,
I didn't think I was gonna be able to really put in all my effort into it. So I've been kind of shying away. I just told him 2 weeks ago, I was like, I think I'm gonna sign up now. And now, you know, maybe you should do a Zoom.
You know, in fact, Jennifer and I were just walking today, and she brought that up about doing it on Zoom. And I go, well, everyone's at home. We could have it like in 1 week or 10 days. We could just, you know, because everyone's at home.
I'm still working, so I can only do this on the weekends.
Well, that's true, because you're working for the military.
Yeah. But I'm going to be working from home most of the time, but it's still a lot of work. And we're homeschooling a 6-year-old who's a pain. So. Yeah, you know, homeschooling.
Everyone, you know, I told Jennifer, I said, you know, I think everyone's respecting teachers a lot more now than ever, because they're going, oh goodness. You know, they had to put up with my job at 6 or 7. So, Jesse, are you working now too, or?
Yeah, I mean, so I've been working more remotely here.
Okay.
I mean, just seeing what's happening here, it's devastating businesses, small businesses. I work for a small business. We're getting devastated. So there's layoffs are coming. I'm going to have reduced hours or get laid off. It's what's coming. It's clear the fact that the economy shut down for this has a lot of other effects. There's the health crisis, but then now there's an economic crisis, and we're going to feel the brunt of that. Luckily, we're a 2-income family, and we can handle that, and we have some savings, and so, you know, we don't have to stress about that. It's the emotional stress for me anyway. It's just the emotional stress of, wow, am I being productive? What am I doing to, you know, be of worth here? So we'll see what happens, but hopefully I'll still be able to help this business stay afloat to the extent.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard to. It's the same thing with the church. I mean, it was just nobody's thinking about giving to the church, so it just dumps all the way down to zero, and you're going, okay, how long? And the problem is you don't know how long this is going to last.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you were told, hey, it's going to last to April 15th, okay, we'll figure this out. But when people are saying, okay, schools are going back, they're planning going back in May, but then I hear hey, this could go as far as August, and I'm going, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm going to go crazy. And so last thing, on how you're handling this is what advice would you give, or how are you handling all this change in our world right now? Are you accepting it? I know that you're talking about your job and stuff like that, but how do you balance yourself out these days?
I don't know if we have an answer.
Do you balance yourself out these days, or are you just throwing knives at each other during the day?
I think we are pragmatic people, and we're looking at what's really happening here. Are we okay? We're okay. Yeah. So now look at the rest of the crazies and what they're doing out there.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. I think we talk a lot. We communicate about it. We vent about the negatives. We laugh about the crazy. The
toilet paper hoarders.
Yeah. The people building forts out of toilet paper or whatever they're doing. Yeah, I mean, you play all sides of it, and it helps. The laughter helps.
Yeah, sure. I think how you react when you're scared says a lot about your character. So sometimes when I feel the anxiety and feel the panic, I have to remind myself that, hey, it's just words. Social media makes it worse. News makes it worse. So just kind of talking it out with each other is kind of how we're handling it.
Yeah.
But it's scary. It can be scary. It can get scarier. We don't know where this is going.
Right.
Just trying to, maintain our mental health, and just, I went for a walk a little bit ago, just keeping up with some exercise, getting some sun, even though we're not interacting with anybody outside.
Right.
Just stay positive. Don't have to do everything together. He was, cutting wood out in the backyard, and I went for a walk.
I'm chopping wood. I'm making my own toilet paper.
And come together and do this with you, and it's just, you got to find that balance, and it's gonna get harder and harder the longer we're in quarantine. So.
Yeah. Well, last Saturday was interesting because I actually, last Saturday Starbucks closed, and I was through the drive-thrus only. And I'm addicted to Starbucks, but this is before I knew it was closed. Woke up at 5:30 Saturday morning, and I go, I'm going to Starbucks, and I drove to Valencia.
What?
I just drove. I just wanted to get out, and I'm going to Starbucks, and I realized none of the Starbucks were open in Valencia except one. It had a drive-through. So then Jennifer called me and said, "Oh, your worst nightmare happened. All Starbucks are closing." So I totally get it. And the sad thing too, before we started this the podcast, your son came up, and talked to us and said he misses church. And he misses Butterfly and misses his friends at church. And it just broke my heart because I'm going, this is not a choice. So hopefully one day soon that we can get together and you guys can do a dance in the front during worship.
We have done that before,
I know you've done it before. So you have to promise me when we get together Sunday that you two will just break out and dance right there.
All right. You got to tell Leo he's got to get up there and sing for us.
Okay. So I'll get Leo to sing on the first Sunday, some kind of, a good song to dance, and then have you guys do it. Okay, we're good. Hey, everyone, thank you for joining us. And Jesse and Kavita, great couple in the church, and hopefully one soon, and very soon we'll get together. So thank you for listening to our podcast, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye.